Hey guys, what is up? So today was a little bit tricky. I knew immediately when I looked at the SPY this morning that it was not going to be like really my day, and I think that's really important to recognize. And I think the longer that we trade, and the more we trade, the more we have the ability to recognize when it's not going to be our day, and when maybe we should kind of take a little bit of risk off. So I was more risk averse today, just looking at the SPY when I woke up. And let me just show you what I saw. So this morning when we're opening right around here, and I have a weekly level here and a weekly level here. And I just, when we're opening in the middle of basically a range, similar to how if we were playing, just a regular stock or regular ticker, not necessarily the SPY, but on a regular stock or regular ticker, if we have a range here, we really want to play the top or the bottom, right? Or like other strong support and resistance within that, maybe some of the cams or something, maybe some of the pivots, but we really want to play our levels. And so when we're in here on a stock, it's not really where we want to be. And that's exactly what it felt like on the SPY this morning. And I recognize that these are not the days where I should be putting on maximum risk. So utilizing that, knowing what works for you, and saving your capital and protecting your capital to use it on the days when the market is working in your favor and the stocks are working in your favor. So overall, very risk averse today. But I did catch a couple small moves. So the SPY, when we opened below S3, and I thought, if we can come back up and reclaim it, I would maybe be interested in a long position, or if we lose S4 later, in the morning or whatever, maybe I would take a short position or something. Maybe a bounce here for a long, but yeah, I just wasn't in love with it. So those were kind of like maybes, like maybe areas that I would take a trade. um so this morning I was looking at Baba was the first one. um so Baba, if I take it, let me just take these pivots off and then switch it over to the daily. So this is what I liked on Baba. We've been in this like strong uptrend. We've got this area here of kind of consolidation, a nice range setting up on the daily, and we're approaching the bottom of the range here. And what I noticed yesterday, so the second candle here, because we can see the today is now, but the second candle here is a doji on, relatively high volume for that size of a candle. And I'm thinking, that's happening basically right at that level. So, I was anticipating a sell off this morning, and that's what I wanted to play. And you'll see, let me put it over here. You'll see, right at the open, we did sell off. So, right at the open, here we are. Let me just zoom in a little bit because we didn't have this huge move up later in the morning, so this is kind of more what it looked like. So here's my level up here. I believe we actually bounced off of it a little bit in the pre-market. Yeah, up there. So you can see that at some point during in the pre-market, it did touch the level and reject it, and then when we came into the open, it just immediately sold off, and that's a good $3-4 move here. But I wasn't going to chase it because my level's up here, so I'm not totally sure that if I get in here that we're not just gonna bounce soon and like come back up to this. So I didn't chase it. I just kind of like let it ride, and when I came back to it, I looked over at my monitor a little bit later, and what I noticed was we had come back to the level here, rejected it. So I did get in here with my stop above the level. So it wasn't a great entry, but I liked the rejection here, and I thought this was going to be the move down. I thought for sure we were going down today. And the market just wasn't that strong. It was not breaking out above S3. We were just kind of in the middle of this range on the daily weekly chart for the SPY. So the market just didn't look strong, and I was like, I'm not really interested in this for a long. So I really thought we would get a move down, but there were some more gaps to fill on the weekly chart, the daily chart on Baba, and as soon as we came back up here and broke through this level, it immediately went and filled all those. So unfortunately, I got stopped out, just a little baby loss on this. And could have flipped it for a long position, but like I said, it just wasn't the market for me this morning, and I didn't trust that this was going to push the way that it did. And sometimes stocks just move how they're going to move, and this is where risk management comes into play, right? So you know baby loss on this. And, you know, I could have got in and taken this, but I could have also got stopped out. So yeah, you know, there were some big asks to the top side. I mentioned this in the chat while I was in it, that it might try to go run and grab for those, and it definitely did. But yeah, I just wasn't feeling it, and there's nothing wrong with that. So just a little baby loss on that. And then, oh, I did trade it later in the afternoon though, and I will mention that really quick while we're on it before I switch. So in the afternoon, we can see, let me put the pivots on. So in the afternoon, after this break here, and we filled all those gaps, it just slowly started moving down. And once we lost R4, um, when we lost R4 and couldn't hold above it, I entered into a short position because the SPY was actually breaking S4 at the same time. So what I really like to do is I like to enter into my positions when the SPY is at a particular level or the correlated ETF is at a particular level. When I entered over here, I actually, you know, wasn't at any sort of particular level on the SPY when I did it. Just didn't, the market just didn't look strong. So it, you know, unfortunately didn't work out on that time. But over here, it did work out for just a couple baby scalps on this. Nothing to write home about. You know, I got in here, I took a partial at the level, got stopped out, entered in again here, and was holding for the break of it, and then didn't like how it was moving, so I stopped myself out for just a break even on that one. And then, you know, now we're in the after hours and we're kind of trending below it. You know, it looks like maybe it's rejecting it. I don't know. We'll see. Tomorrow might be in play for me at this level. We'll see how the pivots line up and stuff and what the market's doing. All right, and then mRNA. So mRNA on the, switch this over, mRNA on the weekly chart has this sort of situation going on over here, right? So I see this as kind of a top of the range where it's shown resistance in the past. And now we're just kind of like bouncing around at it. We tried the bottom of it, bounced off of it, and now we're back at the top. And if I take a look at the daily chart, as we're climbing after the bounce off the bottom, you know, we're kind of climbing here, and each time we push up, we do push up on a little bit of volume. And when we pull back, we don't pull back on very high volume. So I'm thinking, you know, we might actually break this level. And then if I zoom in to, or actually if I put the pivots on this, and then we take it back to the daily chart, I can also see that at the top here is R4. So I'm more interested in this level for a breakout. But what's interesting about mRNA this morning is that, you know, like I said, the overall market wasn't super strong. So when we sold off this morning, I was waiting for it to kind of hold, and it did bounce off of S4 and hold a little bit. And if you switch over, if I switch over the daily chart again, I'm just gonna leave it here. But if I switch over the daily chart again, R4 on the daily was here. So, you know, similar to how we play this on the intraday, like if I was zoomed in on this on the intraday and let's just say R4 is up here and my level is here, sometimes it will, you know, kind of come down to R4, bounce off of it, and then break the level. So I was interested in this in like a bigger picture sort of thing where we lost this level, but now we're bouncing off of R4 on the daily and we're going to come back up here. So that's basically what I played. When it rejected the level, I took a partial because if I'm playing away from my level, which I don't love to do, you know, just nothing really set up. I mean, I played a couple times today near a level, but it just wasn't one of those days where things were setting up at my level like I really like. So I was kind of playing it to the level, which, you know, is a little bit riskier. But when it got up here and it rejected this level here, I just went ahead and took a partial. I was actually trying for 188, but the market just wasn't strong enough. Unfortunately, at one point here, when we came back up to test this, it did look like the market was going to break S3, and I thought, you know, maybe this will give it the juice it needs to break through this level. So I added into it with a new stop break even, and unfortunately got stopped out. But this would have been a good flip to a long short position too, because the market actually ended up eventually rolling over, but just not in that time, right? So the market wasn't rolling over yet. The market actually was pushing up against S3, looking like it maybe was going to break back up into that range. But yeah, like I said, not my best day, not the best day for me to be trading. I knew that from the beginning, and I took very small risk. I ended up, you know, slightly green on the day, you know, overall, but you know, it wasn't a day for me to take entries and really like ride the wave like I normally do. And that's okay. Sometimes we just have to know that. We have to know, you know, what days to be more risk averse and what days to put more risk on. And, you know, there will be days when I put 4R onto a trade, and there will be days when I put 1R into a trade. And today was a 1R day. So to put onto a trade, and maybe tomorrow we'll align properly in the market and some of my levels set up, and we'll take put some 4R risk on some stuff and make some boss moves. But yeah, so protect your capital and, trade your strategy and know when it's your day and when it's not your day. And when it's not your day, take a nap. I took a 2-hour nap today and it was fantastic. All right, guys, I will catch you later. Peace.